Well, hello there, and welcome to another Heart to Heart Talk with me. I'm John Kuert, the pastor at Alpha Assembly. When Apple Incorporated first began in the 1980s, the company's young chairman, Steve Jobs, I'm sure all of us have heard of Steve Jobs, he traveled from Silicon Valley out in California to New York. His purpose was to convince the president of PepsiCo, that's Pepsi Company, John Scully, to move west, to move to California to run the struggling company, his computer, Apple. Well, as the two men looked out of Scully's penthouse office, the Pepsi executive initially declined Jobs' offer. He said, "You'd have to give me $1 million salary, $1 million bonus, and $1 million severance." Well, Jobs reluctantly agreed to his high demands, but Scully would still only commit to being a consultant from New York. Well, after thinking about it for a moment, here's what Steve Jobs said. I'll tell you with that in just a moment. But let me just say it's great to have you on board again with another one of these heart to heart talks. I hope that they sometimes maybe make you uh, feel good, sometimes make you laugh, sometimes make you really check your life, or sometimes just be a blessing to you. But I hope they are something that you will come back to again and again. I try to make them interesting and challenging, and share with you things like this little story that maybe you've never heard before. So anyway, back to the story. After thinking for a moment, here's what Steve Jobs said to Scully. He said, "Do you want to spend the rest of your life selling sugared water, or do you want to change the world?" And that one question helped John Scully put his life into perspective. He almost let an opportunity to change the world pass him by, but finally he took the job and moved to California. And today we know the story. Apple has skyrocketed and become a worldwide top seller and has revolutionized the computer industry and really changed the world. Well, here's what I get out of that story. You know what? Most people don't recognize, maybe you're one of them, the chances they have, the opportunities they have right in front of them to change the world, namely sharing the good news of Christ with people. Now, we might not be able to change the world on that kind of a scale, like the computer industry, Apple, and some of these other great companies from Silicon Valley. And they really have literally changed lives and changed the world. We might not be able to do it on that large of a scale, but you know what? We can change the world one person at a time by sharing the good news of Jesus with them. And as we change lives, we will change the world one life at a time. And I hope that you realize the power that we have in the gospel of Jesus Christ. We have the Holy Spirit working on our behalf, helping us, guiding us into all truth, empowering us to be witnesses to people, to share with them, and it's just amazing how we can change the world one person at a time. You know, the person that was the evangelist had a crusade in, I think it was North Carolina or South Carolina. We would not recognize his name. But one night in that rally, there was a young man that attended. His name was Billy Graham. And that night, Billy Graham made a commitment to Christ. And imagine that. That evangelist, unknown evangelist, and I can't remember his name at the moment, but that unknown evangelist brought the gospel that night, and Billy Graham accepted it. And that one man has literally touched millions upon millions of lives around the world. He's gone on to be with the Lord now, but when he was alive, oh my, he touched so many countries and so many nations and so many lives. And so we never know that one person that we touched will go on to do great things for God. So let's determine that we're going to do that. And I think that God will help us and make us a blessing to others. Well, thanks for joining me again. Of course, this is Holy Week, and we hope that you'll come on Sunday, Easter Sunday. I have an illustrated sermon, and I'm sure that you will enjoy it. Invite a friend, and we would love to have you at our 10:30 service Sunday morning, Easter Sunday morning. Well, have a great week, and we will see you again very soon, hopefully. God bless. Bye-bye.